Hello YouTube, welcome to the second Blender tutorial, and this one's going to be about cloth simulations where the cloth it can fall, it can do basically anything, and it looks really realistic, and that's one of the good things about the Blender render engine. If you have not seen the first video, which was about just the interface of Blender, there will be a link in the subscription, or a link right here, not to the subscription, but to the first video. And yeah, so let's get started. Just set up a little scene. I'm gonna just scale this cube up, scale it up by 4, so S4, and scale it down on the Z. Hit Control, and just and then Control move it up, so it's just flat on right there. Let me turn screencast on really quickly. Okay, so you can basically do whatever you want with this part, but for the cloth simulation there's specific things you have to do. Let me really quickly just add a new mesh, just Shift A to add anything. I'm going to add a cube. I'm just going to move this up one, scale it up on the Y by 2, scale it up on the X by 2, so now it's just kind of like a box. I'm just, for the tutorial's purpose, I'm going to give it a blue material, and we need a plane, so if we do Shift A again, or wait, Shift S to get your cursor right here selected this center, because the origin of the object, this yellow dot in the center, will appear right here. So if I add a plane, it'll be like right there, right in the center. It'll spawn where the origin is. So I'm gonna render this really quickly, see how it looks. Turn this to smooth shading. Smooth shading. No, I'm just gonna make this a little better looking. Maybe smooth the vertex. Now if I render it, okay, that looks better. So now I'm gonna go and just add a plane, one more plane. I'm gonna put this right about there. I'm gonna scale it up. I'm gonna put this on the edge so that you can kind of see what happens when you do this. And then you're gonna go into the physics tab. The icon popped up right next to my cursor. Physics, and then we're gonna do cloth. And you don't need to mess with any of the other stuff. And then we're gonna do collision. This is important, or else it'll just fall through. So you need to do collision for both that and this. So now if I do that, it'll fall like that. That's pretty cool. Okay. Now if you want, that would be fine, but it doesn't look too realistic. So you subdivide it a ton of times, and then Alt A, and it'll just fall. And it looks like cloth that kind of just falls. So I'm just gonna pause the video right here. I'm gonna render this. You need to make sure it's smooth shading so that it doesn't have the, yeah, like that. That looks pretty realistic, but there's some things we could do to make it better. First of all, I think I made it a little too big, so I'm going to scale this down a bit. There we go. Then I'm going to give it a little bit more structure so that it doesn't just kind of... Whoa, that's way too much. Do something like 20. And then the cloth collision, you want it to have less friction, so it kind of bounces off a little. So we'll do 3 for that one. I think if we play this, see what happens. Yeah, it doesn't just land there, it actually falls off. That's really weird how it's just crunching up into a little... Oh. It looked like the mesh was actually deforming, which it kind of is, but not that much. Okay. What if I put that to collision too? Would it... Let's see what happens. Yeah, so it doesn't affect that. Okay. Oh wait, no. Wow. Okay, let me just change the settings really quickly. Friction of 3. Let's give it a new texture. We'll make this a cloth type texture, so let me think what we need to do. Let's just try some of this. I'm gonna pause the video really quickly. If it takes too long, I'll pause the video, but I'm not quite sure which one I'm supposed to use. We'll just go for clouds for now. It's not that, it's this. So noise, it'll kind of just got that stripe pattern. It's not the best, but for tutorial purposes, it's good enough. I'm gonna just put this in blue. I'm not gonna give it any kind of geometry right now because it doesn't really need to like stand out too much. And if I just play this, it'll fall. I'm just gonna pause it right there. Right here. We'll render that image. Let's see how that looks. That looks pretty good. Okay, that's pretty much it. For the next tutorial, we will be looking into particle systems. So we can create really cool effects like explosions and things like that. And I will see you next time.